Hello friends, this is the next lecture in the series of news analysis. Here we discuss some of the important news which are important for different kinds of exam, central level exam, UPSC exam or state level PCS exams. So the first news that we are going to talk about is the crystal blades. Okay, crystal blades. So what are the crystal blades that we will see? But why we are talking about this? Because DRDO has just developed the crystal blades for the aero engines. Okay, and it is supplying 60 such blades to Hindustan Aeronautics Limited as a part of their indigenous helicopter development program. Okay, for helicopter engine application. So these crystal blades are used in the aero engine. Okay, these are used in the turbines which are used in the aero engines, and these are very powerful. We will see these crystal blades. So there is an explanation here with respect to the crystal blades, that this particular development of this crystal blade has been done by Defense Meteorological Research Laboratory. This is a laboratory of DRDO only, and it will develop around 300 of such blades in the 5 sets. Only one set is ready right now of 60. There will be 5 sets of this total 300 in numbers. Okay, and they will be used in a high pressure turbines blades, and these blades are made using the nickel based super alloy. Okay, so simply they will be used in the turbine, in the aero engine, and made up of nickel based super alloy. That has to be remembered with respect to the crystal blades. So India is the 4th country which got this capability to develop these crystal blades. Only United States, UK, France and Russia were earlier having this capability to develop crystal blades. Now India is the 5th country which got this capability. So helicopters which are used at the strategic location or in extreme conditions, for them they requires a powerful engine, and these crystal blades will provide that powerful engine to such helicopters working in extreme conditions. And they particularly the capacity of this crystal blade is to withstand very high temperature. Okay, that's why these crystal blades are very much important in any kind of a strategic operation by Indian Air Force or Indian military. Then next article is with respect to the RBI guidelines. So RBI, Reserve Bank of India, has given guidelines with respect to the tenure or with respect to the age of this some of the important people who are working in the private sector bank. Okay, so it said that it has given just 3-4 guidelines are there. So it said that the tenure of the MD, CEO and the whole-time directors of the private bank will be 15 years. So maximum tenure it has been fixed for MD, CEO and the whole-time directors of the private bank. We are talking about the private bank here, not the public bank, and it has been fixed maximum 15 years. It said that the same people like MD, CEO and whole-time directors, they are eligible to reappointed. After completion of this 15 years, they are eligible to reappoint, but there should be the minimum gap of 3 years. Okay, after that they will be eligible to reappoint, but there should be gap of 3 years after this 15 years. So during this 3 years period, it said that the same people, the MD, CEO or whole-time directors, will not be associated. They will not be appointed and associated with the bank or any of its group activity in any capacity, either directly or indirectly. They will not be attached to that particular bank. Then they will be reappointed after 3 years. It said that this same MD, CEO and the whole-time directors, their maximum age to work in a private sector bank will be 70. So tenure is 15 years, then eligible for reappointment after the gap of 3 years, and the maximum age of their work will be 70. But for chairman and non-executive directors, the maximum age will be 75. So for MD, CEO and whole-time directors, maximum age is 70. For chairman and non-executive director, the maximum age will be 75. These are the guidelines of RBI. Next article, it is with respect to India's military expenditure. So there is one organization which is called as Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. In short, it is called as SIPRI also, Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. So in short, it is called as SIPRI. So this Stockholm International Peace Research Institute has has provided or published a report, and it talks about the military expenditures all over the world. So it says that India is the third largest military spender in the world in 2020. So USA was the first largest spender, second was China, and third is India. So US accounts for 39% of the total money spent on military globally. China accounts for 13% of total money spent globally on military, and India accounts for 3.7% of global share of military expenditure, 3.7%. In terms of rupees, US spent $778 billion, China spent $252 billion, and India spent $72.9 billion. So all these countries saw their military expenditure going in upward direction or increasing military expenditure even during pandemic year, COVID-19 pandemic. So world was facing economic recession kind of situation, then also their military expenditure was going on. So India's military expenditure grew by 2.1% as compared to 2019, though there was a pandemic in India, but the expenditure increased by 2.1%. So India's total military spending is 2.9% of the GDP. All these facts are very important for the exam. So India's military spending is 2.9% of the GDP, and from 2011 to 2020, the India's military expenditure or military spending has grew by 34%. So India's expenditure is growing year by year, almost 34% of growth in a decade in military expenditure that India has seen. This was with respect to India's military expenditure. Next article we are talking about good government index. So see, it is good government index, not good governance index. Good governance index that is started by Indian government to rank the states in good governance. Here it is good government index. So we should not mix good government with good governance index. Good governance index, that is India specific. Good government index, it is global. So India has been ranked 49 in this good government index out of these 104 countries that were classified. Okay. So who published that good government index? It is the Chandler Foundation of USA. It published this good government index with India's ranking of 49. So it focuses on 7 pillars. To rank any country, there are 7 pillars. Which are these pillars? First pillar is leadership and foresight in that country. Then where there is any robust laws and policies, where there are strong institutions in India or any other country, whether what is the capability, financial capability of the country, the financial stewardship it is saying. Then it is talking about whether there is a rise of helping people in that country. Then whether there is an attractive marketplace, what is the global influence of this particular country, and what is the reputation of this country. All these indicators are used to rank any country in good government index, which is published by Chandler Foundation of USA. Okay. If you like this video, subscribe the channel, like the video, comment on the video, share the video. Thank you so much.